Good afternoon, Rob Grimes with the IFBTA, and I'm really pleased to do another one of our Meet Our Members, although I will say before we get started here that we have met this member before. We've met the individual. You may not know the company, you will know the company, and I will assume that you actually do know the company, SageNet. But I'm really pleased to have a Meet Our Member conversation with Courtney Radke, and he is the Vice President of Innovation at SageNet. So welcome back once again. It's been a long time.
It feels like it has, but I'm always happy to talk with you, Ram. It's a long time listener and repeat caller, I would say as well. So happy to be here.
Well, it's mutual. It's mutual because we've done this mutually out there. So we just have to figure out whose turn it is. But this time, it's my turn to interview you.
Yep. So I'll get you on the next one.
All right. So why don't we start out at the top? So let's not assume that everybody knows who SageNet is. Do you want to go ahead and just sort of give us a general description?
Yeah. So SageNet, we are a network, digital, and security company. Really, all three parts of that. We see ourselves as we are a managed service provider, but we're really a digital experience provider. As I say, that's kind of where we're moving our direction to. And it's interesting. SageNet, in its current form, is a 27-year-old company, and we're very large in the restaurant, hospitality, convenience store space. But we're looking to kind of reinvent how we're seen in the industry and kind of break the mold of the traditional MSP. So that's us. SageNet, we'd like to think of ourselves as the tailor-made solutions. We build the solutions for the customers to meet their needs and in less of a templated cookie cutter fashion than what you may be used to out there in the industry.
So when we talk about building solutions and not being cookie cutter, right? Because there are certainly lots of people that do vanilla, types of managed services and things. What do we... I'm learning that people don't always define things the same way. So how do we define what managed services actually are?
Yeah, it's a good question because there's a lot of different ways to think about a managed service provider, depending on who you're talking to. So, we've actually come across that if you're talking to the marketing officer or the digital officer, they're thinking it's their, marketing platforms service provider. A lot of times it's construed as strictly a security services provider. For us, that's why we're trying to say us as a managed service provider is really a managed digital experience provider, because I think of it this way. The solutions that we provide are built on products and services, but that's not necessarily what the customer really cares about. The customer cares about the outcome that it drives. So we're kind of looking at it from an outside in. What are the outcomes that need to be delivered for that customer? And then we create the right packages, the right solutions, bring in the right partners to build it for them versus starting from the bottom of this is how you build it. Well, let's say why we need to build it and start from there.
So you can see that I'm about to actually question you on a number of things that you just said. So So you've given a definition of managed service provider, but in doing so, I have to ask a follow-on definition. So what do we include in the digital space that is going to be covered by the services?
Yeah, digital is extremely broad now as well. So we're talking for us at SageNet. Digital side is everything that the customer sees out there. The products that are behind the scenes is the foundation, the network, and the security that covers all of that. But really what it's driving is the experience for the customer. So we're talking digital menu boards, kiosks, drive-through, order confirmation. So not just the hardware, which we provide, the software that we write, but also the content and the marketing content that drives that also ties into retail media networks. So all portions of that is stuff that SageNet drives. So a lot of organizations they'll provide hardware, they'll provide software, or they'll provide the marketing content material. We provide all of that, and then we manage it. So it's really
But you also have to work with other solution providers because you can't do everything within, a store.
No, we can't. And that's why we partner with a lot of organizations that are out there, a lot in the OEM and the ecosystem environment. We are not the network firewall creator. We are not the creator of the hardware for the screens, but we are the consumer of that and the package builder for the customer, because they're looking, again, back to what I said just a moment ago, they're looking for the outcome. They don't necessarily want to have to make all of the decisions on how we get there. We take that complexity out of it and provide them a simple,
But they may make the decision on what it is that they need to run their business. But then after they make that after they make that decision, then it's turned over to you to go ahead and manage and bring that all together with a single source.
Yeah. The onus is on us to come in and understand where their business is at today and where they kind of want to bring their business. They may have existing, technology partnerships. They may have existing things in their ecosystem. It's our job to help integrate into that ecosystem as best that we can, and then provide our value add portions to say, how do we expand that ecosystem? How do we make it quicker, faster, smarter, more secure? We're not every part of that from the product and solution set. So we need to make sure that we're playing well with what's already in there.
If somebody works with SageNet and you are their MSP and you are putting it all together for them, does that mean that you're also taking responsibility and you may actually do the procurement, packaging, maybe even finance it to make it easier for them to deal with people like franchisees, and licensees?
Yeah. Again, they want the easy button solutions. We have multiple different flavors. Whether it's a corporate environment that's all them, they're taking care of it, and that's the easy ones. But we really like the complex ones, the franchisee organizations, these large multi-brand that they have a franchise user base that the corporate has said, hey, this is the direction that we want to go. But it's hard for them to mandate down or get all of those packages, get the single billing, get the single solution put together. So we do all of that for them, right? And it's delivered to the store for them as an easy to consume as possible format. And most of the time, we're also sending our technicians out to install it to make sure that it's working, not just day one. It's the day zero build and the day 2 through 2000.
Right. But what we're talking about really is what happens down at the operation at the stores.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that would include everything. You've already said things like digital signage and things, but we know there's so much there. There's point of sale, there's kiosks, there's drive-through, you said. So is it really everything that is, let's say, digital and connected within the store?
A lot of it. I mean, so areas that, we integrate with and we work with and partner is, in the POS space. We're not a POS provider, but we are a POS integrator. Our systems integrate to the POS. We provide things like voice AI assist and things like that into POS environments, but we work closely with the POS providers to make sure that we're not making their job harder. We want to make it easier for them to, be successful in that space. So I would say, save for, the real, technology behind the scenes in the kitchen, KDS and POS,
Right.
that type of stuff. But everything else that ties it together, the visible and invisible network lines that tie it all together, that's us as well.
But you did say at the beginning, and I'm trying to clarify this to make sure that our listeners and our members understand this. So you also said, though, that you're not necessarily doing the firewalls and doing that kind of the protection side of it.
We don't build the firewalls, but we deploy the firewalls. So we like to think of it as an all-in-one encompassing solution. So when we come in to support digital, I say that network has to be the clear foundation for that. And if you do it without security, you're setting yourself up for failure. So for us, we're the full service shop on managed connectivity, deploying the firewall, your switches, your access points, your managed power. Then our value add, because we don't build those products, is what solutions can we lay on top of that? So analytics, business analytics, Wi-Fi analytics, our digital services. So we want to make sure that if we're providing an experience through digital for the customer, that we know the network is not going to be a bottleneck, that we know the network security is not going to be a challenge. So we support and deploy and manage all of that for the ecosystem.
There you go. Thank you very much. Rob Grimes with the IFBTA, Meet Our Member, with Courtney Radke of SageNet, and thank you for joining us today.